Every nonprofit leader knows that the secret to having meaningful social impact is to have fantastic employees. And the secret to having fantastic employees at work is to create an enabling, supportive, conducive environment for them to do their work. Now, this means many things and has many dimensions, but one of the important dimensions that's worth talking about and becomes almost a foundation is the salary and the benefits that the organization is to provide them. But how do you know how much salary one should provide? What is good enough to attract meaningful talent? What are the benefits that employees may expect and others are providing that you should make sure that you give? This video is an accompaniment to the Rahi report on the compensation and benefits benchmarks in the Indian social sector, released in February 2026. This report gives a perspective on many of these questions and more, based on a sample of 90 different nonprofits across India who have provided their data, which has been then analyzed, put together to a set of meaningful benchmarks that help you understand where the sector is today and the direction that the landscape is evolving in. This video gives a high-level overview, an orientation really, of what the report contains. So it'll be short, to the point, and very clear. The idea is to help you to navigate the report meaningfully, figure out what it has, what it doesn't have, and how you should absorb the information in there. There will be future videos that get into some of the highlights and some of the details of what the report found. And so subscribe to the channel and stay tuned as we bring out those videos. But for now, let's dive in. Let me give you a high-level structure of what all the 120 odd pages of the report contain. First is a quick start guide, which gives you 2-3 pages explaining how to read the report, many of the points of which I am now echoing in this video. Then comes a short participant profile. Now, the point of the participant profile is to help you understand who are the people who gave this data, whose practices and data is this report based on, so that you can see if this is relevant to your situation and relevant to the sort of information that you are looking for. It looks at what is the team size, what is the annual budget size, the type of work that they do, their operating model, their operation scale, etc., so that you can contextualize the information. Then come 3 different types of benchmarks, which is on the compensation levels or salary levels of different important roles, on the compensation practices, on that is the maturity of organizations in terms of how they compensate employees. For example, do they have salary scales? Do they have competency rubrics, etc.? And do they have variable pay and things like that? And third and finally comes the benefit benchmarks, which looks at what are the different benefits that employees are provided, like insurance, leaves, wellness allowance, etc., etc. Now, after this comes some broader insights for the sector, which is, as I looked at this data, as I analyzed what different organizations have said, what are some insights and broader reflections that have come out, which are helpful food for thought for all of us. And finally, there is the closing section, which has acknowledgements, which has the way in which you can contribute to this effort if you would like to, with a pay-as-you-wish option, and links to other interesting reports that you might find useful. As you would see, this is a long report by design, but honestly, anybody who is looking through the report might require only like 10 pages, at 10 to 15 pages would be relevant for them. Now, so some of the ways in which you can use this. Let's start with what you're looking to do, and then let me tell you which section of the report would be useful for you. So if you are looking to fix your salaries or look at, as an employee, is your salary broadly in range for organizations like the one that you are in, then go to the compensation levels benchmark. If you are looking at the maturity of the organization in terms of what are the different, and if you're looking for inspiration on the different practices that organizations are doing around compensation, like setting salary scales or competency rubrics and things like that, go to the compensation practices benchmark. This section is also relevant if you're trying to figure out what is a typical increment that people provide, that organizations are providing their employees. And if you're looking at strengthening the benefits or trying to figure out with the remaining budget that is available, what is the best benefit that you could look to give to remain competitive? Now that you can ignore the rest that we looked at, you can focus on the benefits benchmarks. This is also true if you're looking at the leaves that you want to try and give. Now, whoever you are, whichever section you've looked at, if you're in the mood to just think about what all of this means and figure out some trends that are coming out, some insights that are coming out for the broader sector, that is a section on the broader insights for the sector that is there. And as you go through the report, if you find that it has been helpful and useful for you, there is also details on how you can contribute to this voluntary effort, because reports like these are usually not available in the public domain and they are usually not also free. But here it is, a report that has taken over 100 hours of work, is entirely free and already available with you. So if you feel like contributing towards this effort, the details on how to support is in the closing thoughts section. Also sharing a quick sense of how you can look at each page. Easy way to figure out where you are in the document. On the top left, you will find a sense of which chapter you are in. On the top right, you will have tabs which tell you within that chapter which section you are in. And wherever it's relevant, there are also these small dots that you'll see above the headers that will give you a quick sense of how many pages are there within that particular topic at a micro level. So with these sort of anchors, it'll help you to navigate this document, I hope. And I hope that gives you a sense of how you can move around in this document without getting lost. So let's take a few minutes to look in detail at the 3 types of benchmarks so you know exactly what you're getting. The first is a little complicated, so it's important to understand properly. So let's look at the compensation levels benchmark. So broadly, organizations have been broken into 3 different parts. First is the leadership, which is your CEO, ED, founder sort of roles, and the CXO, the second layer of management that is usually seen as the leadership layer. Then comes the programs, which has your managers and associates who do the core program work directly interfacing with the beneficiary or the client, as the case may be. And the third is the support functions or the organization functions. There are 6 main functions that have been looked at this year, which is MEL, HR, IT, fundraising, finance, and communications. And across these 6, they have been categorized as 3 levels. Let's say the lead or head, the manager, and the associate, which is the individual contributor. So this sort of broad hierarchy is assumed across these roles, and organizations have provided their data, and each organization has given for whatever roles was relevant for them, they have provided the information. This information is cut by 3 different ways. One is by the size of budget. So for a 40 lakh to 1 crore size organization versus a 20 to 30 crore organization in terms of annual budget, the practices would naturally be different. So what does that look like? Second is by the size of operations. Are you working locally versus are you working nationally? And finally, by the type of approach that you take, your operating model. Are you working as an institution with fixed facilities, or are you working digital only, where you are primarily working online? Now, across each of these cuts, you will find a few pages of tables that are provided. What you are actually seeing is for each of the roles, you are seeing different statistics that will be helpful for you to understand. There is the average and the median information that is provided, and also the max and min of the typical salary that is given. There is additional detail that is there, which is not available in the public report, but in the participant report. If you would like to be part of this exercise in the future, do drop me an email and I'll be happy to include you as the future communications go out. The second type of benchmark is around the compensation practices, which is to say, what is the increment that organizations are planning to give this year? Do organizations give the fundraising role variable pay, or maybe do they give any other role for variable pay? Is the salary same or different across headquarters versus the what we call different locations or regional teams? The third type of benchmarks that this has is the benefit benchmarks, which is to say things like insurance, things like learning budgets. How prevalent are these in organizations? And also, there is a special deep dive on leaves, something that we have not done before, on what are the different types of leaves that organizations provide and what is the typical approach to and philosophy that organizations take to providing leaves to employees. So that's it. That's a quick overview of what the report contains and how you can read it. But before I close, I do want to tell you that at the end of the day, it is going to be about your own journey. It is going to be about what you can provide. From an organization perspective, it is about the budget that you have. And from an employee perspective, it is about the larger context. There are things that the report does not capture. And there is a lot more of richness and factors that go into our choice to work in a particular organization. And so, of course, listen to your gut, figure out what works and whether this resonates with you, because at the end of the day, this is not a prescription. This is only a reference point, an idea that you can use as you make your decisions and you build your strategy for your career or for your organization. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, feel free to drop a like. Let me know more what you found useful in the comments, and write in if you find there's something interesting you want to tell me, because I would love to hear from you. See you around, and thank you for watching.